Hello, everyone. My name's Adam Baker. I work for UCD Quinn School of Business. So, listen, we're very happy to have you here this evening. I'm joined here by one of my colleagues, Ayrton Kelly, who's a second year Commerce International student. So, we're here just to talk to you about commerce and Commerce International here at UCD. We really do want to give you just an impression of what the place is like. We want to try and get you to get as much out of this as possible. So really do feel free to ask questions as we go through the program. And what I'm hoping to do really is go through a presentation here with you, talk you through the two programs and what they're about, the differences between them, before I then hand over to Ayrton, who's going to go through his life here in UCD. So again, try and get as much out of this as you can. We're going to send it around afterwards, so we'll give you a copy of something to have. But the main thing to know is that my name is Adam Baker, and my email address is adam.baker@ucd.ie. We'll try and keep this to about half an hour, including questions and a quick talk from Ayrton, but do feel free to get as much out of this as possible. So I suppose to start to go through who we are and what we are. So we're the Quinn School of Business, which is the undergraduate school of the College of Business within UCD. So there's Smurfit Postgraduate Business School, and then there's a Quinn School of Business here within UCD. And you might see behind me that that's the building that I'm in, is the Quinn School of Business. So we've roughly 1,915 students here, built over about 4 different programs. We've a number of different international students, we've a number of different students from different countries. But what we really, and the thing that I'm most genuinely, we're like a small community within the UCD campus. So when I started here, I was one staff member of 5,000 staff members. And you're kind of going, how in God's name am I going to meet people, make friends, or fit in? The great thing about the Quinn School is that it is like a small little community within the bigger UCD campus. So you get all the wonderful big university experiences and the chance to meet people from different backgrounds and the chance to use the clubs and societies and facilities and the bar and the nights out and meeting people from different backgrounds. But what they also get is you get the comfort of being part of something a bit smaller and something a bit more community-like. And the Quinn School is really, really good in that. We're really good in that because it's not just important for getting you to fit in, but it's also very, very important for actually supporting you through your business education, because the skills that you're going to need later on in your business career are going to be based around teamwork, they're going to be based around working with people, and they're going to be based around working in small teams. And if you don't have that very early on in your business education, you might struggle later on. So that's why we try and have this kind of community feel here within UCD. But the main kind of overarching things to think about us as really we're a theoretical-based business school and a practical-based business school. So there's 2 ways of thinking. You're going to need to know and find out about the theory of business and how it works, but you're also going to have to know about and understand how to actually do business. And that's what we're very strong around here. Around the skills of business that you're going to need, also encompassed within that is a theory. So how and what are the best management practices? How to do a profit and loss account? What are the 4 Ps of marketing? How to motivate employees around you, but also how to do these on a very, very practical basis. So we're really strong about here. So that's the difference. What I think stands for us. We're community-minded business school about the theory and also the doing of business. We're obviously based within a large UCD campus. Our accreditations means that we're actually internationally recognised, and we're the only Irish internationally recognised business school to do our accreditations. So accreditations are like quality marks for a business school, and we're the leading ones in Ireland at the moment. So right now, if you're going into 5th year, if you're going into 6th year, you're looking at joining us later on in your career, that doesn't mean an awful lot. But in an international context, they're not going to really notice the difference between commerce and UCD and BES and Trinity and business management and DIT and commerce and Galway. But what they will recognise is what international business schools actually stand for. And we're very strong around that and our accreditations. So that's us kind of very roughly. What we stand for and the pillars of our education are around 4 different areas: innovation and enterprise, business and society, personal development, and transformational learning. So what I mean by innovation enterprise is that we strongly believe in the power of our students to create change, to come up with ideas, to do stuff differently, and not just work for the man. They're people that are forebearers, they're people that are groundbreakers, and there are people that do stuff differently in business and society. We do strongly believe that business is not just about working for an accountancy firm, working for a management firm. The business is now international, and you can actually do so much more different things with business. And that's why business and society is so strong for us, and so strong in our beliefs in what you can actually do as a student here within the Quinn School. You can work and you can change the world with what you actually do as a business school student. And this is what we try to get within our programs. So what I mean by this is that you can create a charity, you can work for social enterprise, you can raise money for charity, you can talk about sustainable business in Africa, you can work about sustainable business development, you can work in a green energy, you can show what your business actually means to your employees and to the society around which it actually operates. So it's not just about the traditional, let's make money, let's set up a business. It's more about what business actually does in society. We're strong about personal development as well. So students come in here, you're a Leaving Cert student that have gone through 15 years of very strong rote-based, memory-based learning techniques. That's not good enough for working in a business. You need to be developed a hell of a lot more than that. And we strongly, and we really do build you up a lot more than that as a student. So we build up your skills of business, we build up your knowledge of business, but we also challenge you to think about yourself as a person and what you actually need to learn and what you actually need to know about yourself. So that sounds a bit wishy-washy, but what I actually mean by that is that you come in and you learn very early on that you're here on your own with lots of other students around you. And it's very much down to you as a person to try and get yourself through this program. We'll support you in any difficulties that you may have. We'll help you out if you have any professional or personal difficulties in class. But it's down to you as a person to make your own way in life. And it's down to you as a person to develop your own career. So your personal development is down to you, but we really help you focus on what you actually need. You might be good at negotiation, but you might be poor at presentations. We work with you on that. You might not be great about working in teams, but you're a very singular-minded businessman. We'll work with you on that, okay? So it's about personal development, it's about understanding business and society, it's about innovation and enterprise, but most importantly, it's about transformational learning. This is an academic term, which means that once you leave this place, you're going to be a hell of a lot different than what you were when you came in. About your understanding of business, about your understanding of business as a career, about your understanding of yourself, the skills you have and the competencies that you have as a person, but also on your belief about what exactly business is in the world now these days, about how it affects people around you and how it affects society. So that's what we stand for. That's what we try and teach our students. That's what we try and enact in them. That's what we try to challenge them to think about. And that's what we expect when students are challenging us within the classroom. The learning experience here then would be quite different than what you're like at secondary school. There's a key emphasis on independent learning. And I don't mean independent learning as just going off and doing exams on your own or going off and doing projects on your own, but a key emphasis on you figuring out about business yourself and you figuring out with people around you what you need to learn as a person. It's not just us saying, here's what an accountant's exam is, or here's what the 4 P's of marketing are, or here's what the management techniques are. It's not good enough to know that anymore. You need to figure out, you need to come up with ideas, you need to come up with ways of figuring out business as a person. And this comes in simulations, lectures, seminars, case studies, role-playing, enterprise competition, guest speakers, presentation. It comes in many, many different ways where you figure out what you're like as a person and you focus on your independent learning here within UCD. Our assessment we get asked a lot as well about. So our assessment is very, very much different than secondary school assessment. If you're talking about examinations, you're generally talking about memorizing, cramming and learning something which you're going to forget very, very quickly when you leave that exam. Not to criticize the secondary school system, but this is something which we recognize is not strong for our students when they go into working in business. So your assessment here is built up over essay writing, business reports, group assignments, wikis and blogs, exams, quizzes, presentations, debates, case study analysis, project management, financial reports. You run your own little mini business in first year. You set up your own virtual website. You write your own blogs. You figure out your own Excel skills. You do your own Excel tests outside of the classroom. All these different assessment techniques are not just exams at the end of the semester. They're bit by bit by bit by bit throughout the course of your program. And this actually helps you grow. This actually helps you add small bits throughout the program. And this actually helps you learn a bit more. The two programs then that we have are Commerce and Commerce International. So I'll go through these very briefly, and I'm conscious that there's lots of information here, but the main rough thing to talk about is what is Commerce and Commerce International. The two of them are internationally recognized business degrees, which are flexible, which have lots of options for students, which are recognized very, very heavily in industry, and are ones which our students want to do very, very many good things within them. The key thing as part of these programs then as well is the opportunities for students to actually specialize as they go through the program. So you'll figure out, or you might not necessarily know when you come in what you want to do, but as you go through the program, you'll figure out and specialize and choose options and choose modules, areas of interest which actually you want to focus on in your career. Okay, so commerce. Commerce is the focus on critical thinking, it's interactive learning, it has a global perspective, so it's not just about business in a large context, it's about business in an international context. It's about the creative use of technology. Technology is the biggest difference in business over the last 30 years. We talk not just about the internet, but we talk about how technology has created new businesses, how it impacts businesses, how it impacts organization, and how it actually impacts the communication between different people. So social media, digital marketing, how you talk to people in different companies. Commerce is about flexibility, most importantly then as well. It's about coming in with a broad understanding of business, and then as you go through the program, specializing in what you want to do. And it's also important to understand that it's broad because at some point in your career, you're going to need to have a solid, broad understanding about other parts of business. So if you work in a marketing role, it's important for you to know about accounts. If you work in an accountancy role, it's important for you to know about what the marketing guys are spending money on. If you work in a warehouse and you don't understand economics, you're not going to do your job well there. So we believe by having a broad, solid base understanding of business before you start specializing, you're going to become a far more well-rounded, successful businessman or businesswoman. So it's a vibrant, fun, caring, and challenging environment where you'll take an active part in the learning process. In year one, you'll engage with the principles of business. You'll talk about inside organizations, you look at the foundations of management thought, you'll work with business and society, you'll do maths for business, and you'll do effective learning and development. The question I always get asked around is maths for business and how much of a part of the program is maths. Every point of your business career, there'll be some small bit of numbers in it, but don't let maths for business or maths as any point of commerce degree actually scare you at all, because we have really, really good supports for students with any understanding or any difficulty around maths. I couldn't add 2 + 2 together, and I really struggle with area of business, but I know that I'm going to need it at some point in my career, and I need it right now. So it's important for students to understand and have an idea about maths when they come in here. You learn about macroeconomics, you learn about accountancy, you look at ICT in business, which is all the effect of technology on business and how it operates. You look at a business simulation as well, and that's actually the screen grab there on your right, where you'll run your own little mini simulation, like it's kind of looks like a PlayStation game or something like that, but you're actually looking at sales and profit and loss and marketing spend and how to work with people around you. You look at data analysis for decision makers, and that'll cap off your year one. In year two, you'll press on to microeconomics for business, financial accounting, principles of finance, information management. You'll talk about marketing, firms, customers, and societies, and you'll do things called Horizons Electives. So Horizons Electives are where you can choose modules from right across the suite of different modules within CD. So I'm interested in something like music, so I could choose a music management module. I could choose a sporting module. I could choose something in psychology or the study of thinking, okay? You could choose modules from different areas right across UCD. This opens up your horizons, this opens up your ideas about your education, and actually opens up your mindset to different ways of thinking. In your second half of year two, you'll do global business management, accounting, business analytics, or global operations and supply chain management. Or you'll go on a student exchange, which I'll chat about in a moment. Okay, once you come back in your final year, so you'll either come straight into final year after year two, or you'll have gone on your exchange, or you'll have gone on an internship and you'll come back. And this is where you'll really figure out what exactly it is that you want to do, what area of business you want to work in, whether you want to set up your own company, whether you want to work in marketing, whether you want to be a social media brand manager, whether you want to work in international business, whether you want to work in IT, you want to be an accountant, you want to be an economist, you want to be a teacher. You want to work in charity, whatever you want to do in your life, you'll start focusing when you come into your final year. And you'll have one of 13 different concentrations to choose from. And that's it. That's what commerce is about. You'll come out as a strongly skilled, smart business student who's been challenged to think differently about business, who's had lots of options, who's had lots of different routes that you can actually go. No two commerce students are generally the same. Okay, some of them might look the same, they might come from the same background, but everyone has the opportunity to choose different options from different areas. And that is a really, really good thing about the program. Within the program, you've got a chance to go on exchange. So I really suggest this for people, regardless of whether you come to UCD or not. It is a really, really good thing to actually get yourself involved with coming on exchange. It is a really good chance for you to improve your employment opportunities, to develop adaptability, to build a global network, and to experience a new learning environment. We work with 60 institutions right across 17 different countries worldwide. And this is just a wonderful way to spend 6 months in Australia, or spend 6 months in Canada, or spend 6 months in Copenhagen. You're not going to get that opportunity with the vast majority of career options you have later on in life. So why not take this opportunity when you have it right now? Okay, that is the exchange opportunity. The second opportunity is the internship program as part of it. Okay, it's a paid placement in a leading organization. It's a competitive program. Okay, and the reason why I talk about competition among this is because if this was for every single student and every single student was guaranteed an internship, what it would mean is that every student, or sorry, say 100 students get into the program, 95 of those students will get on brilliantly with the company and the company that they work for, but 5 of them will just not get on with them. Okay, they'll just get not on because it's a bad internship, they don't fit with their manager, or they didn't want to really get involved in the first place. Once that happens, these companies, they just get a bit annoyed and just get a bit sick of working with an internship program. But based upon the fact that this is a competitive program and only the actual students that want to go for the companies go for it, it means that the quality of internship partners are top class. And we vet them and we make sure that you're doing really, really good jobs, and we make sure that you're actually getting yourself involved with the different businesses. And this actually means that the quality of the paid internship program is very, very good. And of all the students that go through the program, 90% of them get offered a job at the end of it. So it's a great way to try out something. It's a great way to get yourself involved in a different area of business. And it's also a great way to actually get your feet under the table. Okay, so that's Commerce. Okay, Commerce International then, it is a very, very similar program. Okay. What I would say to someone, whether they're considering choosing Commerce or Commerce International, is that Commerce International is the addition of languages alongside the study of business. For this program and to enjoy this program, you've got to have 2 things. One is the aptitude, okay, your absolute head understanding of how Commerce International works, and your smart skills around study and your understanding of business. But the most important thing you actually need to know is and have is an interest in languages, in literature, in culture, in traveling, in working abroad, or working with an international business, and moving out from home. Because if you don't have that interest, you're going to really, really struggle on the program. And that's what students are really attracted to this by, is the chance to work with an international business based in Ireland or work with an international business based abroad. Why business with languages? It adds linguistic skills, literary knowledge, and cultural understanding. It adds an international perspective. It's very, very attractive to employers as well, okay? Particularly multinationals. They're going to have customers right across the world. They're going to have operations right across the world. And they want their employees to have a good, solid understanding of international business. And it also helps you communicate with new cultures and meet new people. It's good fun. It's a good understanding, meeting people from different backgrounds. And it's a great way to actually get yourself involved. So the language options: French, German, Italian, Spanish, and Chinese. French is the only one that you need to know at a Leaving Cert level, okay? The rest of them can be done from beginners or a medium level, depending on the level you got into. But French is the only one that you need to have Leaving Cert H4 with before the program. Similar to Commerce, in year 1, you'll do broad business modules alongside your language subject. So 2 languages in first semester. So you'll do 2 languages from French, German, Italian, Spanish, and Chinese. And at the end of semester 1 in December, you'll actually decide just to keep one of them languages as part of the program. You'll decide to do French, and that's your program for the 4 years. You'll decide to do Spanish, and that's what you do for the 4 years. Semester 2, data analysis for decision makers, financial accounting, microeconomics for business, languages core, and horizons electives again. In year 2, you'll go into far more depth of study of business areas and the language skills that you actually need. So principles of finance, people at work, foundations of management thought, 2 languages and literature, and horizons elective. Okay, so lots of people ask about the languages and literature as part of the program and why you need to actually learn it. The reason why it's important to learn these areas of a country are because if you think about going into work in an Irish context tomorrow and not knowing about what happened in the match tonight, or not knowing about who passed away in politics, or about books, about culture, about history, about drama, about how the country actually works, then you're going to find it difficult to actually fit into that working environment. You're just going to be the person that knows about business and that language, but you're going to find it difficult to fit into that environment. We strongly believe by learning about language and literature and history and culture, alongside learning the actual language itself, you have a far better in-depth understanding of what a country is actually like. This actually helps you in your business career. Okay, so year 3, study abroad. You have the opportunity to go through a language route or non-language route. With a non-language route in global business, you go to an English-speaking country, and you obviously drop your language that you've been learning for 2 years. So it's a very considered thing to think about, that if you study German for 2 years in college and then you decide not to go and study German anymore, that you're going to leave this off your final transcript in UCD. So it might be something a bit weak on your CV. You come back, actually the year abroad is your best way about studying the language, by the way, as well, because you go to a different culture and the restaurant guy in France will only speak to you in French, or you go to Spain and the Spanish waiter only speaks to you in Spanish, or you go to Germany and you go to a cinema that night and it's only in German, or you go to China and you meet the love of your life and he or she only speaks to you in Chinese. That's when you're truly really thrown in the deep end, and that's when you really have a good understanding of grasp about a language, and that's when you really get to study what a language is actually about. And that's far and away the best way to become linguistically and culturally sound with a different country, and this is what really sets you up for different employers. You come back in your final year with your modern languages route, you do business strategy and new venture creation. With your global business route, you choose more international business subjects and international degree programs, and this is what actually helps you figure out what you want to do. Again, you focus on your area of interest by choosing business modules from accountancy, management and innovation, marketing, HR, banking and finance, and management information system. So that very much is what the 2 programs are about. That's what they really stand for. Again, the main differences between them are that, again, and I'm going to bring a student, Ayrton Kelly, in here in a few minutes, and he's going to chat to us about his experiences as a student. But what I really would say is that as a place to come to college, we really strongly believe in challenging students, and that's Ayrton. Hello, Ayrton. We believe in challenging students. We believe in talking to students a bit differently. And between Commerce and Commerce International, you're going to get 2 degree programs which are well known, which give students lots of different options, and which really are part of a business school which believes in doing something a bit different for business and society. We're not just about creating a different raft of students year in, year out. We're about trying to challenge our students. We're about trying to get them off working in a different world, in a different way, thinking differently about the world of business and the effect it actually has. And that's what we really stand for. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is going to hand over to Ayrton. He's going to chat us through his experiences here in UCD. So can we hear you there, Ayrton?
Yeah, so okay. Adam said my name is Ayrton. I'm in 2nd year Commerce International. So I started in UCD last year. I'm from Donegal, so it was kind of a big change coming down from a really small county and a really small town to one city and to UCD. So I was a bit apprehensive, but the one thing about Quinn and the one thing about Commerce International and Commerce is, as Adam said, it's a smaller community. One of the things I really love about UCD and about Quinn in particular is the educational aspect. Obviously, you're coming to UCD for the degree, and the thing I find about Quinn is the lecturers are really friendly and approachable, and you can challenge them, so to speak. The modules are really, really good and really relevant. Like, there was a new module this year on digital currency, so like in Bitcoin and stuff. So it's not really archaic and old-fashioned. It's constantly changing. And as Adam said, transformational thinking. I'm definitely not the same person that I was last year, and certainly in terms of business and society, a lot of your perspectives change, and you're never really told the right answer. But I think at university level, you're taught to be really critical and to not take things as black and white as we were in the Leaving Cert. There's a really different mix of teaching and assessments, so the group assessment, tutorials, lectures, and one thing I really found was the learning support services, so like the math support centre in the library and the academic writing centre here in Quinn itself are fantastic. And your lectures as well, as I said, are really approachable if you're having any issues, which makes it a lot easier here in Quinn. Obviously, there's a social aspect to Quinn and UCD. So you have 80 plus societies. The Commerce and Economics Society is absolutely huge here in Quinn, and they're fantastic. They put on so many events, social events, but also help you develop personally. So like they have LinkedIn workshops and stuff, which are really, really good. You have the Students' Union, I think about 20 or 30 plus sports clubs. If you're coming from not Dublin or the commuter belt, you're looking at residential services as well. So you'll meet so many people on res. And then, as Adam said, you have the community. So like I'm so close to all the 100 students in BCom International. I know so many of the BCom students as well. That's the really unique thing about Quinn. It's not like the BA program where there are 500 students registered to the program. Like you know who are in, you know who's in the course, and it's really, really good in that respect. So it's small enough to be a community, but big enough to get to meet new people and get to immerse yourself in different cultures and perspectives. The university, like obviously, whether you're at the open day, you'll see the university facilities are second to none. Like our sports facilities, the student centre are amazing. You have the EY Innovation Hub in UCD in Quinn here at the minute, the data analytics lab. There's really cool presentation studio that you can record yourself and kind of practice and play it back. At the minute, like literally just last week, the extension to Quinn started, which is really exciting. Hopefully we'll have a new lecture theatre by the time you're here. And then across the university as well, you have a cinema, you have the residences, you have a debating chamber, so many places to eat, you have a bar. Like it's a really wonderful university, and Quinn itself is a pivotal part within that. So that's about it for me. I can answer any questions now if you have any student perspective questions, I suppose. I'll just hand it back to Adam.
Thanks very much, Ayrton. So yeah, so I suppose we're coming to the end, but we're quite happy to answer any questions maybe that people have. So we probably should have said hello to a couple of you there as well. So hello, Aoife. Hello, Charlie. Hello, Chloe. Hello, Claire. Hello, C. McKay. Hello, David, Ellen, Hugh, India, Jack, James, John, Julian, Katie, Kinsla, Leah, Liam, Lily, Mariam, Rebecca, Ronan, Sarah, Sean, and Sharon. Hello. If you do want to answer or ask any questions, there's a little raise hand at the bottom. Feel free just to click that and throw a question out there. We'll try and answer in as much as we can, but feel free to answer any questions or ask any questions of us. Like as I said, we're very proud of our students. Like Ayrton. Ayrton's not somebody that is you know, we're proud about people like Ayrton because he comes with different ideas and he challenges us like we challenge him. He's not someone that's wrote, and he's not someone that's just by the books. He's someone that thinks a bit differently, and that's the type of student that we want to attract, and that's the type of students that we try and get out to and around as well. So okay, so it looks like nobody has any questions. So last thing really to say, how many lectures are there every day or every week? There's roughly between 14 and 18 hours every week of lectures. So Ayrton, you might know a bit more about how long on for rough weeks or anything like that.
Yeah, well, like there are about 14 to 15, and sometimes there are alternating stuff. So we might have one tutorial every second week. One thing that, like, I think I asked Adam this question when I was considering coming to UCD about the lectures and timetable. It's all very manageable compared to other programs like engineering and veterinary science. Like there is a lot of free time and a lot of time for you to do your own independent learning and for the social aspect. But you're looking at about 15 to 16 hours of contact time a week in general.
Yeah, and you'd have roughly the same of maybe project work as well. So like obviously in the first few weeks of college, listen, you're going to be enjoying yourself, you're going to be meeting new people, you're going to be getting to know university life. It'll be less, maybe come up to exams, or during projects it might be a bit more, but there's always plenty of time to get yourself involved with stuff outside of the classroom. That's very important, and that's what Ayrton and he talked about earlier on, about getting involved in different bits and pieces. That's what we believe it's very important for students to actually get involved outside the classroom. And you can specialize in both. In commerce, it's called specialization. In international commerce, you choose subjects from a certain area. But when you're going for jobs at the end of it, when you're looking to work in a certain area, you will say that, you know, I'm Adam Baker and I've specialized in marketing in year 4 of international commerce. Or I'm John and I've specialized in digital marketing at the end of commerce. So it's effectively the same thing for potential employers. How many places are in commerce? There's 260 places in commerce and roughly 120 places in Commerce International. Are there any lectures or classes outside of Quinn? There's some missing in Ayrton, there's some down the campus, but generally most of them are here.
It really varies in first year because you have a lot of large modules with like 500 students registered to them. You might be in some of the larger lecture theatres, in like the law building, for example, or down in science. But for the smaller ones, you are based in Quinn. Like Quinn is the hub. Like Quinn is your home basically, kind of like where you always go back to if you have a break or if you're meeting friends.
Yeah, and it's good as well to have a base like that because there's always people around. So it's nice to know that your friends are kind of in a certain area of UCD. UCD is quite big, and some of our older programs have hundreds of students in them, so it's less likely that you're going to get lost here. Ronan, for your question there, there is some of our modules, there is a lot of reading, to be perfectly honest with you, but for people with dyslexia, there's always supports. There's always help for people with certain areas, and there's also certain programs for people who are in that situation here as well. So don't be worried about. We have students who are dyslexic on the program, and we have successful students who have gone through it from every different walks of life and every different types of backgrounds. So don't be put off by it. There's always going to be subjects which are a bit more difficult, but we have supports for every student with any type of personal difficulty, with any type of difficulty within the classroom. Lily, so what were the points last year for commerce? They were 499, and for Commerce International, they were 519. But genuinely, we don't know what they're going to be like year to year. Like if I knew what there was going to be, I'd be working in Paddy Power. We've honestly no idea. Like every September, I always get a call off somebody who says their daughter or son wasn't sure about the points and they put a different program down and they did get the points. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do in that situation. So just always put down what you want to do, number one, and this is what your guidance counselor would say, whether it's medicine or whether it's commerce, just make sure to do that. That get work placements, roughly 130 out of about 150. And the ones that don't get it tend to be people that didn't get the grades or do a bad interview or don't fit with the company. So it's not like it's ultra competitive. It's more like a competition in the real world when you finish up in college. Accommodation, Ayrton, you lived on campus here, didn't you?
Accommodation can be complicated. I think what scares people a lot is the waiting list. So you might like be 1800, but what you find is that once offers start going out and once people start accepting offers, it's quite easy for first years to get accommodation. Second year is a different story, but in first year, it's generally quite. There are very few people that might not get on campus.
Yeah, it's prioritized as well, Sean, for first year students. So it's not like you're going up against Ayrton in second year or people in third and fourth year. As a first year student, you're put up to the top of the queue. So if you are considering coming here, just put your name down and it's randomly allocated. Accommodation, it goes from roughly, I think it's 5 to 8 grand per year, depending on what type of accommodation you want. So you might want a fancy double room on with gym and free food, or you might want to share a room with somebody else and share facilities and not get free food. So it depends on what you actually want. Study abroad semester is not competitive, but it's just based on grades. So you have to get a certain grade in the program to be eligible. Some of the locations might be competitive though. So like Australia and Sydney is quite popular. So that might be based on grades within the program. But generally it's, every student tends to go somewhere. And, always we try to say to people to go on the road less traveled. If everyone's going for the same place, they're not going to experience some of the different things that they are in life. So you'll surprise yourself by going on the road less traveled. Okay. College and accommodation. So you don't pay for college. Accommodation depends on city, but generally, if you're living in Dublin and you're moving outside of Dublin, Dublin's a very, very expensive place. So these accommodation and different areas tend not to be as expensive actually as they are here. So I wouldn't worry yourself with something like that, okay? It is kind of an outlet people are going to have, and it is a worry, but accommodation tends to be cheaper than it actually is in Dublin. And yes, the link actually Ayrton sent through there gives lots of different information. Okay, Leah, is the business degree you come out with any different in Commerce International and Commerce? Well, obviously there's a massive addition of the language on top of Commerce within Commerce International. So Ayrton here, he'll be doing a couple of less subjects in Commerce in Commerce International, and Commerce students actually will, but employers aren't necessarily going to see the difference. They will see him as somebody with business understanding and language, and they'll see a commerce student as a commerce student with just an understanding of business. So he certainly will have something a bit more added to his CV. Horizons options available for Commerce International. Yeah, I wouldn't ever recommend something unless you're interested. So Ayrton, which ones did you do?
In first year, I did Global Marketplace, which I really would recommend. It's a very broad module, and kind of into marketing and ethics and everything. And the lecture is really fantastic. This year I'm actually doing a structured elective in social justice. So what that is you do 3 electives across your degree from the social justice suite of modules. So I'm doing gender and development this year, and then next year, or sorry, 4th year, I'll and that will transcript then. I think with electives, the really important thing is to do what you're actually passionate about. A lot of people go, what's an easy elective? But there is no easy elective if you don't enjoy it. And that's one of the things that me and my friends would kind of agree on now, that if you're going, you generally do better in something you're interested in. And there is literally no shortage of modules in UCD. There is like introduction to massage. You can build a shield in one of the archaeology electives. Like there's so many you can do.
Yeah. So always do what you're interested in is the main thing we'd kind of say to you. You can take the easy route and go the easy roads that everyone's traveling, or you can try and do something which interests you as a person to get a lot more from it. Campus accommodation is chosen on random. So you apply and then everyone's in the same hat on July, but year on year more accommodation is being provided for students. Work placement for Commerce International, no, it's just a study abroad option. We can't stand over international placements for students because we want to make sure that they don't take advantage of students. So we need to make sure that we manage it quite well, and that's why we can't provide that internationally. So look carefully at places that provide that and how they manage these placements which internationally. Is it known which electives will fit within the timetable? Yeah, you'll know your timetable from day one. So you'll be able to see that on Friday between 3 and 6, you have time to spare and that you can fit in one of the electives within this area. Okay,
the
registration
process is really easy. It'll just, if you search, it'll say you can or can't do it. Okay. The computer system kind of just figures it out itself. So yeah.
Okay, so we'll take the last couple of questions before we finish up, unless anyone has anything else. But what we'll do at the end of this is we've recorded this and we'll be sending it to everyone within the email as well. So, okay, well, listen, there doesn't seem to be any more question there. So what I want to do is just want to thank each one of you for joining us here this evening. We'll have another one of these in semester 2 next year, and we'll put information up around this, so it'll give you a chance to maybe come up with more questions. But the main thing is, my email address is adam.baker@ucd.ie. So adam.baker@ucd.ie. If you email me, I can get you in contact with Ayrton as well. I'm hopeful that he wouldn't mind getting in touch with you. Just the last question there, Kinsella. French system grades are different, so you need an international baccalaureate. But if you email adam.baker@ucd.ie, I'll get you that information. Or ucd.ie/international is a good place to go as well. I just wouldn't know them offhand for every different country. So again, just to thank everyone here for joining us this evening. Hope you got something out of it. Thanks again to Ayrton as well. Email us adam.baker@ucd.ie and we'll certainly get more information to you. So thank you guys. Hopefully you got something out of it. So if you got any feedback, just quickly type it down. If it's the worst thing that's ever happened in your life and that's terribly useless, feel free to say it. But if it's good, we'd appreciate it. Thank you. And big thanks to Ayrton. Okay, bye guys. Thank you.
Bye.